Welcome everybody to the first episode of Megadad's Sketch Play. I'm your host Adam Leonard, and in this video series, I'm going to be creating artwork inspired by some of my favorite video games. I've been playing games and drawing for over 30 years, so I figured what better way to launch a new show than by fusing these two things together. A lot of the games you're going to see on Sketch Play may be lesser known or out of the mainstream titles, and most of them will be previous generation games. I want to show you something maybe you haven't seen or played before. In this and every episode of Sketch Play, I will avoid spoilers and show you just enough of the game to give you a foundational understanding about what makes it so great. So let's get started. The first game I'm covering on Sketch Play is Klonoa: Door to Phantomile. This game was developed by Namco for the Sony PlayStation back in 1997. I was 17 at the time that this game came out. Holy crap, that was like the Stone Age. It was a prime moment for Sony's debut console. 1997 saw the release of games like Final Fantasy VII, Symphony of the Night, Oddworld: Abe's Odyssey, Tomb Raider 2, the list goes on and on. But this game, this little 2.5D platformer, is so special to me that it remains one of my favorite games on the console, and it even landed as number 45 on the Megadad's Top 50 Games of All Time. Klonoa tells the story of this large-eared, furry, adorable little creature named Klonoa and his sidekick Hupo as they travel across the enchanted world of Phantomile on a quest to save it from the evil spectral character known as Gaudius. Now, the fascinating thing about Klonoa is that its music and its visuals portray a whimsical world filled with lovable mascot characters. But the story unravels in a much deeper and more dramatic narrative than you would ever expect. If you talk to anybody who has played through Klonoa, they're sure to point to the emotional story as the main element that stands out about this game. It's kind of a testament to the landscape of gaming at that time. Japanese pop culture was still at the forefront of the gaming industry's best offerings, and Klonoa is anime through and through. Wide-eyed chibi characters portray a story about light and darkness, dreamscape travelers, and a friendship that culminates in a heartbreaking finale that I am in no way ashamed to say brought me to tears. Needless to say, Klonoa left quite an impression on me, and I sincerely hope that you can find yourself a copy of either this version or the remaster that was released on the Nintendo Wii some years later. Now that I've said my piece on the game, I invite you to sit back and watch the rest of this episode of Sketch Play as I illustrate a vision from one of my favorite PlayStation 1 games. This is Klonoa: Door to Phantomile. Welcome back, everyone, to another exciting episode of Megadad's Sketch Play. I'm your host, Adam Leonard, and on this show, I take you on a journey to experience my favorite video games that inspired me both as a gamer and as a creator. I spend so much of my time split between illustrating and playing video games that I thought, what better way to fuse my two passions together than with this show? So as with all episodes of Megadad's Sketch Play, I will be showing you exactly what is so special about this game, all while creating an original artwork inspired by the game that I'm spotlighting. This episode of Sketch Play is all about the 2002 GameCube classic, Super Mario Sunshine! Wahoo! Now, I'm a sucker for Mario games, and when I decided to create this series, it was obvious that I was going to have to select a game from this beloved Nintendo franchise to draw. It wasn't all that difficult for me to arrive at Sunshine. I've never been a big fan of the Galaxy series. I've drawn multiple art pieces taken from the Plumber's 2D outings, and Mario 64 seemed like too much of a gimme. As I said before, I want to show you guys something you maybe never played before. And while Super Mario Sunshine may be the black sheep in the 3D Mario game library, I absolutely love this fun in the sun approach to the series. Released in 2002 for the Nintendo Lunchbox, Sunshine is the direct sequel to Super Mario 64. It's kinda crazy to think that the mad scientists over at Nintendo took a fairly radical leap from the established mega hit that they had with Super Mario 64, but they absolutely did. For their follow-up, Super Mario Sunshine takes Mario and company completely out of the Mushroom Kingdom for the first time since, well, I don't even remember Mario ever leaving the Mushroom Kingdom up until this game. But alas, the Mushroom Monarchy take their vacation on the sunny tropical paradise known as Isle Delfino. Upon arrival on the island, however, it becomes quickly apparent that this excursion will not be all tanning and sipping on margaritas. The island is under siege from a Shadow Mario who is covering the island in dangerously toxic paint. And of course, it's up to our hero, along with the aid of Professor Egad's Flood Water Pack, to clean up the mess and send the bad guys packing. The gameplay in Mario Sunshine hinges on the Flood Pack. It converts from a water sprayer, which you use to wash away enemies and paint, into a jetpack that allows you to make longer jumps, into a rocket nozzle, which blasts you high into the air, and even into a turbo jet, which propels Mario forward at incredibly high speeds. But watch your water meter. Flood expends water from the tank on your back, so make sure you use him strategically, and never stray too far from a replenishment point, like the ocean, or maybe a nearby swimming pool, or even a fountain. It's a truly unique gameplay twist on the tried and true Mario formula that really makes this a one-of-a-kind adventure. But really, what I love so much about Super Mario Sunshine is the way that Nintendo just absolutely nailed the feeling of running and playing on the beach, in a seaside village, even in a sun-soaked amusement park. Playing Super Mario Sunshine just brings me so much joy and allows you as a gamer to really be transported to a place that you wish you could truly spend time in. I'd pack my bags and spend a weekend in Isle Delfino any day. Just gotta remember to pack a spray bottle. Now that I've told you just what exactly makes Super Mario Sunshine a fantastic summer fun video game, I invite you to sit back, put on some sunscreen, and enjoy the sunshine. Welcome everyone to another exciting episode of Mega Dad's Sketch Play, the show where I select a video game from my gaming history that inspired me as both a player and as a creator, and together we explore what makes this game so fantastic, all while I create a brand new original piece of artwork inspired by the title in which I am spotlighting. As with all episodes of Sketch Play, you can get early access to the episode, as well as a digital download of the completed artwork that I create by becoming a member of Megadads Plus for only $1. Simply go to patreon.com/megadads to become a member of Megadads Plus. You can help support this show, as well as get a pile of exclusive rewards and perks. With all of that out of the way, this week we're sketch playing one of my all-time favorite video game series, Animal Crossing. If you know me at all, you know I am absolutely in love with this video game franchise. I've drawn countless art prints featuring the characters, my office shelves are stacked with Animal Crossing amiibo, I listen to the soundtrack almost every single day, and no, that's not an exaggeration, and above all, I have poured countless hours into these games. Animal Crossing released in the US in 2003 on the Nintendo GameCube, and it was pretty much a slightly improved and localized version of a popular Japanese Nintendo 64 title called Animal Forest. If you're not aware of this series, Animal Crossing is a life simulation game kind of like The Sims, where the main gameplay hook is to perform daily tasks and maintain personal relationships, all while you gather cool stuff to furnish and decorate your ever-growing house and surrounding village. But unlike The Sims, Animal Crossing places you, the new resident of town, in a small woodland village populated with cute and personality-rich animals. As the sole human living in your town, you curate friendships with ducks, squirrels, and pigs. It is super dope. The clever hook when this game was released was that the game world you play in is alive and active even when the game is turned off. Animal Crossing uses your console's internal clock and calendar to realistically progress your town while you play and also while you don't. What this means is that the game world is reflective of the real world. If you turn your game on at 6 o'clock in the morning, it's going to be 6 a.m. in your game. If you're playing in the winter season, your town will be covered in a blanket of snow. And if you neglect to return to take care of your town for weeks or months at a time, that's going to reflect when you return, both in the condition of your home and surroundings, as well as how the townfolk react to your prolonged absence. This gives Animal Crossing a true sense of being a living, breathing world, and it makes this game so endearing to the player. The moment-to-moment gameplay of Animal Crossing may seem mundane to the average gamer. It involves a lot of busy work, doing chores or errands for your neighbors. But there is so much under the surface here that any gamer who appreciates customization and a game which curates itself to your playstyle, they're going to love Animal Crossing. Everywhere you turn in this game, you put your personal stamp on everything around you. You can compose an anthem which the town hall bells will chime on the hour, every hour. You can design clothing that the villagers will purchase in the shop of their own accord, and they'll wear it around town. You can landscape the entire village with rows of flowers or plant an orchard of fruit trees in a vacant lot. You can pave the streets in a custom stone pattern which you design. You can create lingo and slang that your villagers will learn and pass along organically to each other. You can populate the museum with artwork and fossils that you find in the world. There's not enough time in this video for me to tell you how many things there are for you to see and do in Animal Crossing. The game is truly a living, breathing experience that you get to live in real time. It's the ultimate game to lose yourself in. Another wonderful thing about Animal Crossing is just how accessible it is. Gamers and non-gamers alike will find so much to love in this relaxing, laid-back experience. My wife, who's not much of a gamer at all, absolutely adores Animal Crossing. The two of us had such a great time bonding over the Wii version of this game, Animal Crossing City Folk. We would take turns playing this game for hours on end, picking fruit, buying furniture, taking the bus to the city and getting our hair done. She liked that. She liked doing that. My personal favorite is going down to the Roost, the coffee shop in town, and listening to the guitar-playing dog, KK Slider, play his set every Saturday night. I have so much overflowing fondness for this series, and I truly hope you find the time and the means to give this game a try. Don't judge a book by its cover. Find yourself a used copy of Animal Crossing on any of its many console iterations. This thing has been on the GameCube, the DS, the 3DS, the Wii. Give it a go. You won't be disappointed. And if you're a Switch player, you can look forward to the next chapter in the series arriving in 2020 with Animal Crossing New Horizons. Until then, please enjoy this very special episode. Thank you for watching Megadad's Sketch Play.
Sketch Play.
Back in 1987, I was a very young gamer, a 7-year-old kid, finding excitement and enjoyment in a handful of sprites bouncing around my tube television, courtesy of my Nintendo Entertainment System. In those days, we had to use our imaginations to fill in the dots between the pixels, as game characters and worlds were made of chunky blocks and primitive animations, due to the limits of technology. But that didn't stop us. And that didn't stop game developers and artists from creating either. Mega Man is a long-standing property in video games with a long tail behind him, stretching all the way back to 1987. I enjoyed the adventures of the Blue Bomber well enough as a kid, but it wasn't until the Sony PlayStation changed the game with bright, colorful 3D graphics that I fell in love with Capcom's flagship hero. The story of Mega Man Walnut and his friends on Cadillac's Island inspired me. They still do. Let me tell you about it. When the original PlayStation came on the scene in the 1990s, a lot of previously exclusive Nintendo properties found themselves swimming in new waters. Games like Final Fantasy, Castlevania, and yes, even Mega Man tried their hands on the new home gaming console produced by Sony. The results were often vastly different franchise experiences than what was produced on the Nintendo platforms. With Mega Man Legends, not only did they take the Blue Bomber into the third dimension, but Capcom went back to the drawing board for Mega Man's PlayStation debut and designed an entirely new world filled with rich lore and characters we'd never seen in the series' history. Capcom flipped the entire property from a side-scrolling 2D platformer into a fully 3D, voice-acted cinematic RPG. This was a stark change for Mega Man, and the result was a game spin-off series that, while ill-fated in the history books, still stands as my favorite Mega Man game and a cult classic. Mega Man Legends takes place in a world of air pirates, treasure hunters, and an entire cast of anime-inspired characters living on a small island known as Cadillac's Island. This iteration of Mega Man explores the world in an airship called Flutter, along with his friends Roll Casket, an iteration on the classic assist character of Mega Man fame, Barrel Casket, who serves as sort of a stand-in for the absent Dr. Light, and Data, a robot monkey with a surprisingly deep and rich secret history. Data also serves as your save points in the game. Do you remember save points? Probably not. Our heroes are known as diggers, and they find and explore ancient subterranean civilizations in search of a legendary treasure known as the Mother Lode. Much of the gameplay in Mega Man Legends has you exploring the many dungeons far beneath the surface of Cadillac's Island and battling the ancient Reaverbots who prowl the corridors and protect the secrets and treasures below. Back in the late 90s, anime was really hitting its stride here in North America, and Mega Man Legends tapped into that vein with characters that looked like they were taken straight from some of my favorite anime movies. And while Capcom had already cut its teeth in the realm of 3D graphics with Resident Evil, Mega Man Legends allowed them to go in another direction altogether, eschewing pre-rendered backgrounds and more realistic character models for a bright and colorful cartoon look. They also did a fantastic job emoting and animating their characters, giving them wonderfully vibrant and hilarious personalities. It's the art style and character design that really makes this game so much fun for me to go back to and play. Mega Man Legends also features perhaps the most lovable and hilarious antagonists in Mega Man history, the Bond family. The Bond family is a team of sky pirates who chase and antagonize our heroes from one end of Cadillacs to the other. Led by Teasel Bon, a giant loudmouth buffoon who sounds kinda like an animated Bobcat Goldthwait. Teasel thinks he's the brains of the group, but that title has to go to Tron Bon, a hotshot mechanic and robot operator. Tron Bon commands the lovable Servbots and is constantly stomping her tantrums across Mega Man's paths on his quest for the Mother Lode. The Bon family are probably more entertaining than our entire team of heroes, and every time they come on screen you can't help but laugh and almost root for them to get a win. Almost. There are some pretty awesome battles in this game as well. Previous games in the Mega Man franchise were 2D side-scrollers that forced your adversaries to fit on a single screen. But Legends gave the team a wide-open 3D field of play to create massive hulking Tron bots and Reaver bots to put in your way. There's even an epic airship battle in this game to keep things action-packed and exciting. Mega Man also has an ever-evolving cache of weapons and tools to take on his foes, including rocket boots, drill arms, and even a vacuum, in case he has to battle dust bunnies. All in all, Mega Man Legends delivers a wild, funny, and extremely charming take on the adventures of the Blue Bomber, and it gets my highest recommendation. But enough from me. Sit back and enjoy the rest of this sketch play for Mega Man Legends. The year is 1989. I'm a 9-year-old kid. Michael Keaton is Batman, and the arcade scene rules. Across the country, kids are pumping quarters into their favorite games in between slices of pizza. My favorite arcade hangout? That's Circus Pizza in Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. We'd go there every birthday party and have the time of our lives. Skee ball, bumper cars, mini golf, robots playing instruments, and of course, the video arcade. Oh look, there I am. Check me out looking like a badass with my bowl cut. Oh yeah, John's there too. We had so many great times at Circus Pizza, I'd give anything to be able to jump in a time machine, go back there just one more time, and if I could, I know exactly what game I'd play.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles! Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles! Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles! Heroes in a half shell! Turtle power! They're the world's most fearsome fighting team!
We're really hip.
Ninja Turtles! They're heroes in the half shell! And they're green!
Hey, get a grip!
When the evil Shredder attacks, these turtle boys don't cut them no slack! Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles! Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles! Heroes in a half shell! Turtle power!
Oh yeah, baby, woo! If that music doesn't get your blood pumping, you're probably young enough to wake up without severe back pain. But for the rest of us, I hope I've stirred the nostalgia potion up just right, because we are taking a trip back to 1989 to revisit Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Arcade by Konami. This was it, guys. This was the machine that ate up my college fund. But let's be honest, I wasn't gonna make it very far in life anyways. Turtles Arcade is the premier beat-em-up game from my youth, and I couldn't wait to get to this episode of Sketch Play. The premise was simple. Drop a quarter with 3 of your best friends, pick your favorite turtle, and beat the crap out of the Foot Clan. This game, of course, is licensed from the mega-popular Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Saturday morning cartoon. Remember when you had to wait until Saturday morning just to watch your cartoons? Featuring all of your favorite villain characters like Bebop, Rocksteady, and of course, the Shredder. Turtles Arcade was the ultimate thrill ride for a kid my age back in the day. We all know how terrible licensed games were back in the 80s and 90s, but Konami had a magic formula for creating arcade experiences from the best properties and delivering truly fantastic games that were a blast to play. When you talk to kids who grew up in the arcade era and you ask them about what their favorite game was, chances are you'll hear a lot of games from Konami's catalog. The Simpsons and X-Men followed similar formulas of side-scrolling beat-em-ups, but for me there was nothing better than the Ninja Turtles. It was my favorite cartoon, I loved the live-action film, and of course, I had all the toys too. I was an absolute fanatic. So it was a no-brainer that when I decided to go to the arcade genre for my next episode of Sketch Play, Turtles is going to take that slot. And of course, when you're talking Ninja Turtles, the first question almost everyone asks is, who's your favorite? There's Raphael, the hard-headed muscle of the group, a loose cannon with a stubborn attitude. Donatello is the brains of the team, creating gadgets and providing tech support for his brothers. Michelangelo is the goofball of the bunch, providing the laughs and easy entry for the kids to grow attached to. But my favorite turtle has always been Leonardo, the patient and responsible leader, always trying to prove himself to their master Splinter, and always trying to do what is right and wise in any situation. I admired Leonardo so much as a kid because he was dependable and steadfast, something I always aspired to be. And the thing that's so great about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is the brotherhood. Each turtle is so different from the other, but the way they come together and work as a family is a really great message of how we're all better together, and we can make each other stronger by bringing our different strengths together for the greater good. perspective, I loved the design of this world too. The heroes, of course, are similar in form, but the weaponry and color assignments make it easy for a kid to identify who is their turtle. But it was the enemies that really drew up a lot of fascination as a kid. Many of the turtles' foes were mutated animals, creating a real zoo gone crazy feel, which is perfect for a kid's imagination. Rocksteady is a hulking rhino with army fatigues and a giant machine gun. His partner Bebop is a punk rock pig, complete with a purple mohawk and totally 80s era shades. Other characters fit this mold too, and as a kid it was easy to see an animal in the real world and imagine what their mutant character design might be. The world of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is perfect for a kid's imagination to go wild, and that's exactly what it did for me. So to be able to actually step into the streets as my favorite turtle and live out one of my favorite stories is something that I'll never forget. It's a feeling I still get today as an adult when I play video games. That feeling of being transported somewhere awesome, or radical, or tubular. Cowabunga, dude, this game is gnarly! Video games offer me a chance to go back to days that are long gone. That's one of the things I love so much about them. I can play Super Mario or Final Fantasy and feel like I'm a kid again, playing these games in my PJs. To be able to create artwork based on these memories is something that takes that a step further for me as well. I really enjoy having the opportunity to make this series and to let you guys into a little bit of my gaming history. I hope if you're an old fart like me, this episode brought you back a little bit too. Maybe you can hear the laughter and the shuffling feet, or the jingling quarters still echoing in your favorite arcade. Maybe you can still smell the pizza, or feel the joystick rattle around in your fingers. Memories like these are what life is all about. I hope you enjoy the rest of this episode of Sketch Play, and I hope you have a radical day.